about every 4 years because we don't pay attention to it. So when you go out there and you see what some of these Olympians do on the ice skating rink, or what they do in this downhill skiing or snowboarding or whatever, man, it's mind-blowing to be able to do and get the air that they get and the speed on skates. Man, fathom going 80 miles an hour on some skates, on some skis, going down a mountain. I mean, that is like a bullet, man. I mean, you wipe out there, and Lindsey Vohn's got the scars to prove it. You break legs, you tear knees, you break arms. There is no, I'm going to roll over in the snow. I mean, it's very, very dangerous.
I don't want to spin this in, but the first thing that I'm thinking of as you bring all of those up is most sports that are high impact, very speedy type of sports like that, you're at risk.
That's right.
And I think there's a part of being at risk that human beings like to do, as well as people enjoy watching. Now, I go back to football, because the sport that we love, and so many of us love, are consistently being talked about with concussions and other things that make you wonder, how sustainable is it, Brett? When are they going to take this away? And I heard an interesting talk on, and I wanted to throw this out at you. I am taking this way off of where you were wanting to go, but this is where my mind is with what you brought up. I heard a talk yesterday about political correctness, and this is on a sports program, and the way that everybody receives a trophy and everything's that way now in today's society, especially in the United States. And here was the point. It went towards grades. This was Gottlieb talking this, and he said, I want to give you an example. 30 years ago in Harvard, a Harvard student scored A's and B's on average. 20% of the student body scored A's and B's on average 30 years ago. That was the score that was the norm.
The very small amount that we're able to get A's and B's.
You know what it is now?
It's probably 70%.
75%.
That's close.
55% higher over the last 30 years.
So all of a sudden everybody got smarter.
But his point was that's the generation that we're living in.
It is.
And that's trying to succeed, that you can't have kids not succeed.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you why it's that way. Because people walk around scared they're going to get sued all the time. From an organization standpoint, if my child is involved in something and it don't quite go the way I want it to go, I'm just going to call you out and sue you. I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to bring it up that he's been mistreated, or he don't get his turn, or stuff like that. And look, I understand that there's some unfairness that goes on in sports that probably some people get a little bit more of an edge than others, but that goes on in everyday life, in anything, in the business world, whatever it is. If you're good enough, and I've always said this to my son, I've never been one to talk about playing time ever. You know me that. You know that. If he's good enough, he'll get on the field, because I don't know any good coach that takes a really good player and sits him on the bench in spite of something. I don't care what kind of grudge or what kind of anything anybody has against somebody. If that kid's one of my best players and that gives me the best chance to win, he's playing. I'll work out my differences later. But I don't know of anybody that's a really good coach that has good standards that'll take a kid over there that deserves to be on the field and sit them on the bench when they don't deserve to. I mean, I don't. And so we've bought into this entitlement, this trophy mentality. Everybody gets one, because we want everybody to walk away feeling good. That's part of being successful. It's when I don't remember the test that I made hundreds on, Randy. I do remember the test that I made 30s on and 40s on, because I know we studied, I know we busted our tail, but it didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to do. We put time in. Just because you invest time doesn't mean you get reward. Lindsey Vonn has been working for 8 years to get back to where she was last night. She missed the Olympics 4 years ago because of a knee injury. Now she gets back and she don't place in that downhill G, the super G, because she made one bad turn. How many hours do you think she's put in rehab and work to get back to where she was? It didn't work out for her last night. It is what it is. She got to the bottom of the hill. She was upset. And then I read her lips when she looked up. She says, I tried. What else can you do, man? You know, there wasn't another ceremony to the side that goes, hey, for all you that work real hard, we're going to give medals over here. You know, because all of those 26 that were in that competition worked their tail off.
But back to, you know, and I agree with you, but back to your initial point. The thing that's amazing to watch, Brett, is we don't understand it.
No, we
you
don't
know,
understand
and
it.
I brought up to you before the program, I said, I bet you when they watch Aroldis Chapman throw a fastball at 103 miles per hour into a little Coke can bottle, that they're going, how in the world does someone pull that off?
That's right.
Or when they watch a soccer player kick a corner kick and put it within about a 3-foot radius on the edge of the goal so somebody can head it at a perfectly timed time
Crazy.
into the corner. By the way, everybody go out there and try that thinks soccer is a really simple and easy sport. Just get you a corner kick, let me and Brett line up, and let you kick it and see if there's any chance I can even get it in the back of the net. But there are sporting events that you see that you are just amazed with. And the beauty of the Olympics, that there's a bunch of sports we have no concept of. These downhill skiing, ice skating, curling, which is interesting to people. I mean, it's not something that blows us away. I think most of us are interested in curling because we look at our beer guts and we say, I think I can pull that off.
That's right.
Every once in a while.
No
but
question.
I agree with you. And I think the ratings are very good right now, aren't they?
They are. And you know, as we carry on into this into the first segment, into the next segment, I want to talk about people that talk about sports that don't really know anything about them, and they say, well, that's not really a sport. You know, because, and I've got somewhere I want to go with this, because you hear that all the time from announcers, you know, whether it be a NASCAR driver or whatever. Until you put yourself in that position, you ain't got a clue what that person goes through and the training that they go through and the wear and tear on their body. And when you're in it may not be a sport in your mind the way you envision it to be. It's not somebody throwing a football or pitching a baseball or shooting a basketball, but it's when you have to train and put hours of work in all the time to be good at that, to be at the highest level. I'll take fishing, for example. There's a lot. I bet you the average person out there would laugh, would crack up laughing if you said fishing is a grueling sport, a wear and tear sport on your body. They, but what are you talking about? Well, the reason I say that is at that level, when you're fishing against the top guys in the world, what they do and how they're dialed in, and the amount of concentration it takes to be good, and the wear and tear on your body when you get up every morning at 3:30, okay, to get all your stuff ready so you can be on the water by 5:30 to practice all day long in whatever conditions out there, rain, sleet, snow, wind, hail. Those guys were practicing the other day, Randy, here in a hailstorm. Now, they all had to seek cover, but it was Wednesday before the tournament starts on Thursday. You think those guys were going, oh, the weather's bad, I'm gonna sit at the hotel room.
Can't.
They can't do it.
Because it may be the same conditions during the tournament. You got to know where the fish are.
So they suck it up and go out there, but they do that every single day. And then once that tournament's over, guess what they go do? They leave and go to the next lake and start practicing for the next tournament.
Let me jump in right here. We've got a couple more minutes on this opening segment. I don't know if all of you have seen, but if you do not follow us on social media, I wish that you would. That's Sports Blitz, Sports with a Z. Bassmaster had an article. You were in my mind, Brett, as one of the spectators sitting out there and watching, and it couldn't have been more glowing about this community. And I told you before the program, yeah, when you go and write or when you talk, you really have something in your mind that you're trying to present. And in my mind, as not a novice fisherman or not a big-time fan of fishing, in my mind, I think that Bassmaster was trying to say, this is how good this thing went off. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the reasons it went off well is because the spectators were very considerate of the fishermen while they were on the lake. But I'm going to throw in about 3 or 4 other things in this article to pass along on how well it went at Lake Martin. Is that not how you took it when you read this?
No, yeah. I mean, it was an opportunity to give a review of how the tournament went from an angler standpoint, from a community standpoint. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, and I'll bring it back, and I'll talk more about it when we come back because I know we're up against our first break. But I do want to add some points to that and tell you why that was so special for Bass to put that article out on Lake Martin. We're up against our first break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. At Main Street Family Urgent Care, we want you to know one of the benefits of our clinic. We have a self-pay option that allows you to get the most out of your visit. That means you don't have to worry about receiving a large bill after your visit. $125 covers all in-house labs, stitches, x-rays, or injections, and we have a selection of antibiotics available in the clinic. We want you to feel better fast at Main Street Family Urgent Care, open 7 days a week in Alexander City across the street from Walmart. Feel better fast.
So Dave here is taking the family up to the lake for the weekend, but without the white knuckles this time. Because his new 2018 Ford F-150 has Blitz with trailer coverage. It's Brainiac smart. Not only does it watch your F-150's blind spots, it's got your trailer covered too. One less thing to spoil the weekend. No, it can't make the fish bite, but maybe they'll work on that. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized E-Z-GO cart dealer that has no limits on a perfect E-Z-GO cart. Whether it's a fully customized cart or a stock-made cart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best E-Z-GO carts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back, everyone. Saturday Sports Countdown here. Glad you joined us this morning. Again, closing out, let me say one more thing about what you talked about the Bassmaster article on Lake Martin. We all should be proud of that because it was a big event. It was the best of the best in that profession, and they were able to come in here and fish our body of water, and then they've had nothing but really high praise about the whole experience. And like I told you, the reason that article was special is because if they had not had a good experience here, they just wouldn't have written anything at all. They'd have just moved on. They'd have started previewing everything else coming up on the season. They would have just kind of said, look, we got that under our belt. Let's just go on and move forward. That's not what they did. They took time, took some of their writers to go interview some of these fishermen and say, look, talk about this lake, talk about the community, talk about the experience. And it was high marks. So they put that out. So just remember that from a media standpoint, a lot of times, folks, when your community's on the line, if they don't say anything after the event, it's probably because it didn't go well. I mean, because they're not going to openly get out there and go, man, I ain't ever going back there again. That place was terrible. And that just looks bad on them as an organization or any organization. So they take it as very high praise that they take time post-event, especially with the Classic coming up, for them to take time and stay talking about this first elite event.
I want to thank our 2 opening segment sponsors here on the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. As you look down, Bice, stop by and see them here in Alexander City, as they have been here for generations. So I'd love for you to stop by, and they've been a long-time supporter of our program. And Sunshine Heating and Air. Kevin Kill, our opening segment sponsor here on the program today. We've been able to, with our business, work with him on a number of different projects. I'm currently working with him on one right now, and he does tremendous work and is a big supporter of Dadeville High School athletics. And like you and I and many others that are supportive of high school athletics, it takes those type of community leaders to get out there and support their community, and he happens to do that for Dadeville, and we thank him for being a part of our program.
There's no question. We couldn't do it without all those guys. And I know we're about to jump into some basketball talk, because that's the hot topic right now nationally with all this FBI investigation. But on a local level, don't have anything much to share, but I know you and I get a lot of questions about the Benjamin Russell coaching job. So the candidates are in. I know the committee's been formed. They'll start interviewing some people coming up, and I've got all the faith in the world that the committee will choose the person they feel like is best for our kids.
I'll jump in there and say, from mine and your standpoint, coaches come and go, and we've been lucky enough to have some really, really good ones around this community. But you and I hopefully aren't going anywhere. So
right.
People will ask, are you on the committee? Are you interested in what's going on? I say, absolutely, 100% I'm interested, but I've got to support whomever they hire.
That's right.
And Brett and I are hopefully going to do this thing for 20 or 30 more years, if good God willing, that we're allowed to do this, because it's probably the thing that we enjoy doing the most.
Right.
So we're supportive of that committee. It's a very good committee that I think will take the time to make the decision that they feel is right, and I will support whomever. And that's my answer back to many of those that have asked if you and I are part of this committee this year, Brett.
Yeah, we're not. And look, when you got an interest like we do in it, we got an interest in the program and making sure it's right. Look, I mean, am I friends with coaches on that staff? Absolutely. I mean, because relationships and being around, I mean, I think anybody around a local high school would have those relationships. And I'm pulling for everybody on that committee. I'm pulling for the right thing to happen. That's what we want, because, I've got a vested interest. I'll be honest about it. My son's about to be in 9th grade. And, I'm going to be selfish anyway when it comes to Benjamin Russell, because it's our high school and, it's what we do on Friday nights in the fall. And but when you have a child involved and, his friends are involved, and you become, if it's possible, a little bit more involved as far as from a standpoint of if you can care any more than we already have, it goes up a notch. So from a selfish standpoint, yes, it's very important for me and all the guys that have kids that are about to be playing for the next 4 years, 5 years on where this program goes. I want them to have a great experience, man, just like the kids that have been with Danny Horn.
But we've seen this go both ways. We've seen assistants on the staff be hired and advanced, and we move on and win a state championship with Willie Carl Martin. We've seen, following my playing days, after the next year, Coach Salve moving on and having a tremendous run at Daphne, and the committee deciding to hire a Phil Lazenby that nobody
knew he was.
If anybody knew him. And the very first year he's here, he takes us to our only 6A state championship game. So things have worked both ways. So that's the reason that I'm, stating that I'm not on the committee. I'm not making the decision. I'm going to be very supportive of whoever, and I would feel like that those that are making the decision that they're feeling is right, and I support them and support any of the coaches that may end up being our coach here. Another quick news as we're talking a little local news here in the Lake Martin region. Benjamin Russell took 13 of 14 to the wrestling state championships. 2 of those 13 have moved on to the state finals.
Saxon Coker, one of them.
Charchet has also. He moved on in the 106 pound. We have 7 wrestling for medals today, and the Wildcats are currently in second. And barring a catastrophe out of those 7, then it looks like the Wildcats have a very strong chance of finishing runner-up here in the state this year.
Amazing.
And right behind Oxford. And Oxford, we've had some dual matches with Oxford this year, and they've gone both ways and been really, really close matches. So that's how close this program is to getting back there.
What about Coach Ransall, man?
I won't talk about that, but both of these guys that are in the finals are sophomores. They got a very young class, a very athletic group, and I think I'll start with Ben Blake. Ben's doing it over at the middle school and also helping Coach Ransall, and he's been around the program for multiple years, and Ben's obsessed with wrestling and obsessed with helping the kids. But I've been around Michael Ransall since I was in the middle school. He actually coached me in my position when I was in middle school. He was our quarterbacks and running backs coach. And I thought the world of him. I couldn't run through a brick wall back then because I probably weighed 120 pounds. But I would have tried to for him. He's just a super guy. And he's always been one that he was highly successful as a high school wrestler here. So your mental told you that he would do great things. And I just think he can walk the halls and get the kids out.
You ever noticed some people that you just look at them and they look successful?
Yeah.
You may not know who they are, but you walk the way they carry themselves, the way they present themselves, and you're like, yeah, that guy probably has his stuff together. That's off the hoof. That's what you see with him. And then not only is he like that, look at what he's done already.
He has
taken this wrestling program over.
Taking 1 year. Let's hope that he hangs in there and sticks with this program. He always has. Most of the time, he's just
finishing second this year.
That's from I think 17th last year.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody was talking about realistically this team having a shot at a state championship this year, and they're right there. So we'll go ahead and take our next break. We come back, we'll continue these discussions and a lot more. Take your phone calls as well. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Fall in love with the ultimate driving machine and lease a BMW X1 for only $319 a month at BMW of Columbus. See our selection of the all-new BMW X3 or X5 SAV. And loyal BMW customers receive up to $5,500 in incentives from BMW of Columbus.
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937, 866-837-6937, or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Farnell Mechanical gives you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable.
Trust Farnell Mechanical to provide perfect air for your family.
What perfect feels like. Lennox.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just $1 down, plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just $1 down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
Drivers, start your engine!
Green, green, green. Here we go. Time for racing. Go. Sunshine and a hot, slick track. Wow, that kid's having a blast. Go low, keep digging. Great job. What a perfect day for racing. That's what I'm talking about, boys.
The Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 will ignite all your senses, starting at just $44, and kids' tickets are just $10 at LatAmotorspeedway.com.
Man, that's Atlanta.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air, your authorized East Central Alabama train dealer. Call Advanced Heating and Air. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. And at this time, I want to welcome in our good friend, our co-host, Luke Robinson. He's somewhere in this country. And if you blink in 2 hours, he'll be somewhere else. So he's coming to us from Columbus, Ohio, just off of a party night with his daughter, a dance night, a daddy-daughter dance. I know you guys shut it down last night, I'm sure, Luke.
Oh, yeah, they hadn't seen that much cabbage patching in I don't know how long.
You probably shocked everybody, and they didn't know what to do. But hey, man, we're glad you're here with us. We're gonna dive right into this basketball talk because Randy and I talked about it probably for 45 minutes yesterday on Auburn Blitz. This thing right here, it could probably get as ugly as we can conceive it being. It's just, we in the past we know that things look like they're going to get bad and nothing really happens, and then but this situation here with the stuff coming out, this could be catastrophic for college basketball.
Well, I think there are a couple of ways to look at it. Yes, I think it could be catastrophic for college basketball in the short term, but I think it could be good for college basketball long term, because I think we'd all like to see somebody get a handle on this thing, somebody get a handle on the recruiting ways, the sliminess of the sport. There is a stigma associated with college basketball, and it's not exactly fair to those who the players who aren't recruited deviously, or maybe who don't even know that their parents are shopping them around, or don't know that their uncles are shopping them around. But there is a sliminess involved. It permeates the whole sport and is so interwoven at this point. I don't know exactly how you get it out unless you do a complete colonic of the sport. And I think that may be what is coming down the pike. Now, having said all that, okay, and I'm just like y'all. I mean, I have some friends that I can talk to, and they can give me some pretty informed opinions. And I was told yesterday, look, there could be a chance, there's some huge names. I mean, Krzyzewskis and some Kansases and people like that are involved with this. And nobody should feel safe. I don't think anybody should be pointing a finger right now and going, oh, I know they're about to nail Arizona, because if you're Arizona State and you're doing that, you might be on the chopping block too. If Pete Thamel is citing a source saying there's as many as 50 big-time schools involved with this, where there are only, 70 to 75 big-time basketball schools, period. I mean, if you include the power conferences, and then your Xaviers and your Georgetowns and things like that. So, I mean, I would say it's going to be a good many of them. So there could be a complete overhaul of this whole system. And if that were to happen, I think short-term college basketball may suffer for a little bit, but I think long-term we may be a little happier with the result. as far as I know, this isn't going to be into any other sports. I think if you took a poll, Brett and Randy, even if we don't personally have firsthand knowledge of this being true, I think the three of us and just about anybody listening would say, okay, what's the dirtiest sport in college athletics? I think all of us would raise our hand and say basketball. Am I wrong about that?
No, I think it's gotten out of control. I think that's why the FBI decided that they were going to investigate this sport over anything else because of the underbelly of this sport and like you said, the sliminess of it. But I'm going to be honest with you. When I said catastrophic for basketball, I meant from an image standpoint. I'm all for this.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's taking Auburn down and Bruce Pearl, so be it. But don't point a finger and pick on lowly Auburn and let the big dogs escape like they always have. I want them to clean the whole thing up. I told Randy yesterday. I said, now the FBI's opened this can. Now what, are they going to dump all the contents out, or are they going to just push it over to the side and make an example out of one or two? It's not going to work if you take the smaller, insignificant schools in basketball and try to make an example out of them. You got to go hit hard where the money's made, and you got to say, look.
Here's the thing, Brett. Brett, I don't think that's going to be the case this time because there are too many national writers that apparently have pretty close sources to the investigation. If Pete Thamel is throwing out facts like that, or at least statements like that, you can almost guarantee he's seen some stuff that makes him believe, okay, this isn't going away. This is not some innuendo. Something is going to happen here. So I feel like there's going to be something that happens, and I do feel like, again, and I hate to pick on them, but I mean, when you think Adidas in college basketball, you think Kansas. At least I do. So Adidas has been the most prominent name, but I can tell you, there's nobody I've talked to with any knowledge of any of this that has said if you're only if you're Adidas are you in trouble.
Yeah, and let me say this: Jason Caldwell was on the show yesterday, and he and I both agree. Look, Nike really started all this in the early '90s with the Michigans and the North Carolinas, and the way they really got out and marketed college basketball. And then it's when you really started hearing about AAU and all of that kind of stuff. Adidas, for the most part, relatively has been on the scene of late. Now, I know they've been in the market for a little while, but as far as a player and a competitor to Nike, that has just come up maybe in the last 10 years or so, maybe even less. So it's comical to think that it's just Adidas and the kingpin Nike is sitting over there with all of the schools that they've garnered and really grabbed the bigger name schools right out of the gate, and they've done nothing. So I'm like you. It's going to be asinine to think that Nike schools are sitting over there going, well, we're untouchable, and this is just all an Adidas problem, because it's not.
No, I totally agree with that. I don't think it doesn't matter what shoe company it is. I think Adidas has just been out there because they have had some names. I guess it was Sonny Vaccaro that was involved for so long that with Adidas that his name just, he sort of was the first to get all these shoe things, all this shoe stuff so popular, or maybe he was with Nike first and then with Adidas. I don't remember the right story, but again, I think this is all woven throughout college basketball. I don't think anybody's immune to it in the least, and I don't think. Look, there are going to be some schools that we're doing. As my friend said yesterday, some schools are going to be associated with a parking ticket, and some schools are going to be, getting a DUI where they below 0.10. So there are going to be some that are worse than others. But the thing is, and this is what my friend said, he said the problem is going to be for some of these schools that if you have any association with any of this, you're going to get lumped in with the rest of them. It's sort of like if the cops raid a party where there's underage drinking, and there was one guy who brought all the alcohol and brought all the illegal substance, but they take everybody in, and you were just a kid that happened to be there. Well, you're still going to jail too, and you're going to be associated with that crowd. I think that's what's going to be in this situation. But maybe college basketball needs it. I know Dick Vitale and Jay Billis and those guys work hard to try and tell us that the sport's as good as it's ever been. I disagree. I used to follow it much more, not just because Alabama was better back in my day, but because I thought I enjoyed the sport more. I think there were some things going on back then too, but I think it has gotten somewhat out of control. And I don't feel like, here's the thing, I don't feel like fans can trust the sport. You know, if we're going to invest emotionally in this sport, I feel like we want to trust the participants, and we want to trust the coaches. We want to trust that, hey, look, we understand you got to do some things that aren't necessarily the most ethical ever, but we don't want to just be out and out slimy about it. I mean, am I wrong there?
No, you're not. And I'm going to get you to hold right there because we got to get to break. We'll come back. We'll keep talking about this. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with zero down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote and terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for zero down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
With the boat season winding down and the weather getting cooler, it's time to let Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road and winterize your boat and get ready for the off-season. The good guys can make all your off-season repairs, winterization, and upgrades easy and on budget. Remember, now's the best time for used boat prices and selection, and you can even pre-order next year's Landau pontoons and quality Suzuki outboards to get the perfect fit for next spring. Service, sales, and value all this off-season at the place the locals know, Alex City Marine. And don't forget to order your 2018 Manitou pontoons now.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you, gotta get to Gills. Selection and price, gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
Bills Electric is your local expert for LED lighting retrofits for commercial and industrial applications. Bills Electric can survey your facility and develop lighting retrofit solutions utilizing the latest in LED technology and controls. In many cases, energy savings alone can generate a payback of 2 years or less. Additionally, LED lighting has an expected lifespan of up to 100,000 hours. Call the Lamborns today at 256-234-4555.
New year, new you. It's the Start Something New sales event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
It's cold outside, but the deals are hot inside.
Save up to $13,000 on remaining 2017 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Laramie 4x4.
If you ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
2018 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Package, only $19,700.
On the web at BiceChryslerDodge.com.
At A&M Plumbing, you can count on us for dependable, quality service. Our staff is professional, neat, clean, and courteous. We're a fully licensed and insured plumbing company. Call on A&M Plumbing for any plumbing, sewer, or septic problems. We provide a comprehensive line of plumbing repair and installation services to keep your home's plumbing systems in top order. When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing. Service at its best, when you need it most.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown here. Carrying Luke over for one more segment, talking about this FBI probe and all of college basketball. Randy, you had a point talking about now your interest level has been heightened, obviously because Auburn's better, and obviously all of us are. And you applaud Avery Johnson and Bruce Pearl for trying to get into the game.
We're competitive, and I've been yelling for 10 plus years on this program that we will support a winner. Auburn and Alabama will come out in droves to support a winner. And you and I saw it when we were in school in 98, 99. You couldn't get in the arena. And now you've got standing room only seating at $100. Any kind of lower level seating at Auburn Arena is $400. You can't get in the arena. So clearly we will support a winner. Well, how do you get a winner? You play whatever the underbelly game is.
That's right.
And when you're a top-tier program that can spend top-tier money, and Luke, I'm not talking about the programs that the Northern Iowas in the world that have been a lot better than Auburn over the duration, but nonetheless, these programs that have $90 million to spend on new arenas and can go out and spend top 20 money on a coach. I think both Auburn and Alabama have done that, and I think it's showing over onto the court. I mean, Alabama's got some of the best young freshmen in the country. You think everything was on the up and up on that? Are you kidding? Give me a break. Auburn's got some great recruits, but I'm not going to sit here and think that all of a sudden we're starting to get some
attract all these
great
players.
Guys just because of the coaches. I mean, I'm not that naive.
What's your thoughts, Luke?
Look, yeah, I think they're both playing the game. I think you're absolutely right, Randy. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Okay, but again, there is something inherently wrong about. I'm conflicted, I guess. There's something inherently wrong about. Well, everybody else is doing it, so we need to do it too. If we're doing better and they're doing better, then we're both doing the same thing. I think everybody's in the mix to some degree. I think some people are in the mix more than others. I'm going to attribute to this. It's a sticky wicket. I'm going to tell you because I think you're right, Randy. I think we are more interested this year. I don't think there's any doubt. But I'll tell you, if you had told me at the beginning of the year, Luke, your team will be bad this year, but at the end of the year, some of the big boys, the big names, the ones that you've been trying to emulate all this time, that you've been wondering why can't we be up there, they're going to get hammered. And then, but you guys will be okay because y'all weren't involved with that at least as much. I would say, okay, I'd sacrifice that. Because another quote that was thrown out there by Mark Schleybaugh was that he talked to a source that said, look, if all this comes to light before the Selection Sunday show, Tennessee Chattanooga may end up being a 2 seed because there won't be anybody eligible.
Well, Luke, let me attribute it to this, Randy, too. I mean, in baseball, we talked about this yesterday. You know, I'm sure there were some guys in Major League Baseball during the PED, all that stuff going on, that didn't want to do it. But you know what they had to do? They had to jump in and start doing it to keep their position or to keep their contract. Because if their numbers didn't equal what some of the guys that they were at their position that were doing, then they were going to get cut or they were going to get dropped from the team. And so Auburn and Alabama are in that same boat. And I understand that. Nobody could foresee this coming, really, with the FBI. So Auburn and Alabama finally go out and hire them a good coach and they probably tell them, look, do what you got to do to get this program competitive just like everybody else. That's what I compare it to. Probably don't want to do it that way, but if, like Randy said, if you want to win more than 9 games in college basketball, you better start jumping in and figuring out how to do it.
Hey, look, again, that's why I'm saying it's a sticky wicket. I think it's just like I think the baseball comparison is a good one. I think that some people decided, hey, I know this is wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway. Some people said, I know this is wrong and I don't care. Some people said, I know this is wrong and I just have to do it to maintain my lifestyle. And I think that, you know, there's different levels of guilt in there. In the end, they're all grouped in the same batch of terribleness. I mean, they're all grouped in the same barrel of cheaters when their motivation for cheating, for each one of them, may have been different. And that's sort of, you know, I keep hearing for instance, the Colin Sexton deal and how does that compare to the Austin Wiley, Danielle Purifoy thing. My understanding is Colin Sexton, I think his dad went out to dinner with somebody and everybody sort of found out about it and said, okay, no, that is not okay. Now, it had already happened and it falls under the same umbrella. There's no doubt. But if that's the place college basketball is. Like, okay, does that mean if they found out about it and the coach is gone and the and they suspended him and they do all this, do they still need to be penalized? I don't know. Or is there more stuff that we don't know? There could be. That's why I'm not pointing a finger. I'm not pointing at Austin Wiley right now, or Denzel Purifoy, or Bruce Pearl, and laughing and saying, hey, Bruce Pearl has a track record of these kind of things. Ha ha ha. No, I'm not doing that, because there could be some more. I mean, I'm as scared as anybody else that if you're a college basketball fan, you should be scared. You should be scared and be wondering what is going to happen. And if I point and laugh at Kansas, is my team next? If I point and laugh at Auburn, is my team next? I mean, I don't think there's anybody that's safe. And so, Randy, that's where I go back to. I'm sure Auburn fans, and as an Alabama fan, I'm enjoying this year. I know Auburn fans are enjoying it more, and they should be. It's an incredible season. But right now, I would be lying if I said a little of the luster isn't off of it right this minute for me, as a general rule. And I think you're being pretty naive if you're an Auburn fan and saying, hey, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this season and let the rough end drag and see what happens. Because
Luke, we've been a basketball. We've been a
basketball
fan. We've been a basketball fan of the worst program in SEC, and I'm not sure that there's been a worse stretch than Auburn's had over the last 15 years in the SEC's history. So if you're asking me, am I sitting back and watching? I didn't have much to lose before this year. Not zero, really. I mean, another pitiful year I could have lost. So if it goes back to the way it was, well, so be it. I just feel like both of the programs are efforting. And look, you and I can talk about it during the break, but the idea that I think that there was some one random dinner, that there's nothing else that's going on around it, is naive. It is. It's naive.
Stop, though.
All right, we got to get the break. Keep it going during Facebook. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
U.S. AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. AmeriBank difference. U.S. AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin, comfort for life.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
What's different about Hyundai of Auburn? Beautiful cars built here from parts made here. That's jobs and tax money.
And right now, Max, record low finance plans. 0% interest and $42.50 cash to spend with no budget busting repairs for a full 10 years. Drive a new Hyundai today. Check it out, HyundaiofAuburn.com.
And my Max Markdown deals. Tell them Max sent you. I might get a bonus.
Max, you're not real.
What?
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alex City. Satterfield is the Lake Martin area's Big Green Egg and Accessories headquarters.
Well, you've just pretty much joined the show for half of it, Luke, so we'll just keep you to the top of the hour. I want to just say one thing, and I don't want to carry it in this direction for the last 5 or 6 minutes of this hour, but I do want to say, and Jeff Hines said it, and we've had other people say it. Look, Bruce Pearl does have a history, but let's just not act like he has been some major violation guy. He's an aggressive guy, he's a marketing guy, and he got caught by doing a barbecue, and he lied about it. So, just like we are as kids, when you lie, there's consequences. Now that's not even a violation anymore. So, I know this thing kind of gets overblown about, well, Bruce Pearl, man, he's just got such a nasty history. Well, I can promise you, if Bruce Pearl's got a nasty history, when we go back and start looking at some of these in the top 15, you wouldn't want to know what kind of barbecues they've had.
Now, look, I totally agree with you that there are people who are worse, but I'm also going to say I think the people who slam Pearl maybe go overboard. The people like you who are defending him forget the fact that he didn't just lie about it. He told parents of those recruits to lie about it. So that takes it a step further. He also turned in some coaches when he was playing the game as an assistant for Iowa, and he turned in some coaches against Illinois, and that sort of got him kind of blackballed for a little bit. I mean, there was a situation at Boston College where he was on the staff with the point shaving. I mean, there's a series of coincidences, some of it, but I'm saying, look, he's not the worst there's ever been. He's not the cleanest there's ever been. But the egregiousness of that is irrelevant. Where we are now is, as an Alabama and an Auburn fan, that's exactly, you said it before, is exactly right. Why now? It would have been so much cooler if y'all had come up with this investigation 5 years ago, and then we might have been able to grow at least more organically versus having the perception of, well, Alabama did this to get Colin Sexton and Auburn did this to get Austin Wiley and Mustafa Heron and whatever. Because we have a stigma attached to both programs now, whether we want to admit it or not. And I, for one, don't like it. I mean, part of me wants to brush it off, but there is a big part of me that is, I've brushed things off in the past, and they have come back to haunt Alabama. So I've also thought that there were going to be some slam dunk, hey, they're getting in a lot of trouble cases like North Carolina, and they get nothing. So I don't really know what to believe, but that's the schizophrenic nature of the NCAA and the way they dish out penalties is very frightening to me.
Let's move this in another direction the last 5 minutes, Luke. I know that you have some really good friends within the program there at Alabama, and let me tell you, I've said this on our program. If there's a team in the SEC outside of Texas A&M that I want no part of in a tournament environment, it's Alabama right now, because you don't know who you're going to get. And when you get that really good Alabama team, I think they can play with just about anybody.
I'm sorry, you cut out on me, Randy. Say it one more time.
I was just saying that Alabama, when they're at their best, they can play with anybody at this point in time.
Oh no, I totally agree. And they've got the length, and it's not just length in terms of height. I mean, it's length. Herbert Jones has a 7-foot wingspan at 6'7". So, that gives you some pretty serious advantages when you're playing defense. And he loves to play defense. That's the thing about Jones that is making him a projected lottery pick for not this year, but next year, where it's his defense. I mean, yeah, he's got to work on his shot. His shot's pretty at times, but it's not textbook. But he's a lefty, which is also cool. Alabama's got a couple of lefties, and that helps the team out. This team needed to grow. This team needed to have some losses that were maybe head scratchers, and that is the beauty of basketball, is that you can grow through the season. I will admit that. But it wouldn't shock me today. Alabama is walking into a hornet's nest today. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if the Hornets are asleep or not because Kentucky has lost 4 in a row. They look completely lost. John Calipari looks like he's kind of reserved to the fact that this team just isn't very good. I mean, they've got all the talent you could possibly want, but if you don't have any chemistry, it doesn't matter. I mean, Auburn is the polar opposite. I mean, Auburn's got some talented guys. I mean, there's no doubt, but they don't. I mean, if you're an NBA GM and you just say, okay, you're going to draft 5 or 6 Kentucky guys before you get to the first Auburn guy, but Auburn plays with chemistry. Auburn plays with desire. Auburn plays from an underdog's position where they feel like, okay, we've got to play hard or we won't win. I think Kentucky shows up with the attitude of, if we show up, we're going to win. And you can't do that anymore. I mean, the league has gotten a little better, and it's going to be a lot better next year. So I think it's assuming that college basketball doesn't explode. But it's going to be a tough game for Alabama today just because the Kentucky fans, if the players are asleep, the fans aren't. I can tell you right now, just looking at a few of their message boards, they're losing their minds. And so they're going to be in Rupp Arena today, and they're going to be rowdy. They're going to really give Alabama fits just from a crowd's perspective. Now, I don't know if the players will match that, but they could. Alabama's got 2 tough games in a row. They play at Kentucky today, and then they're at Auburn, which I would say is seemingly unwinnable. I'd say it's going to be an easier game for Alabama today than it is Wednesday. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah, I think coming down the stretch, you look at Auburn and Alabama's schedule both, and they're pretty tough. So it'll be a good test as you head into the tournament to kind of see what type of team you have at this moment. Is it a team that's hit their ceiling? Is it a team that's still on the rise? Or is it a team that's tailing off a little bit? But, Luke, we've appreciated it, man. Thanks so much, and safe travels, okay?
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too, man. So a couple more minutes here left. I mean, good points all the way around. I mean, you can discuss all this for hours. I think it boils down to what we've all talked about. You know, what does the FBI decide to do and what does the NCAA decide to do with what the FBI comes up with? Because the NCAA has no subpoena power. They really are powerless to go out and get any of this stuff. The FBI is going to hand it to them. Now, what are they going to do about it? You know, Luke brings up a good point about North Carolina. You know, it's crazy how it seems like you got some schools dead to rights, and then all of a sudden there's a technicality. Oh, well, that was for every student instead of just athletes, so that we can't use that anymore. I mean, that just shows you in the legal world we live in, little things like that you think, you know, a case that is just so cut and dried, they take a technicality and get it wiped off.
Well, that's business too. And that's the reason that there's an underbelly here in this country of people that are totally upset with the system that we live in, because those that have can get out, and those that don't seem to be taken advantage of more than those that have.
It's been like that since the beginning of time.
It has been, and you can either like it and agree with it and just try to get in line, or not and fight it. And
it's never going to change.
It may not ever change.
I don't think it ever will.
This has to change something that's totally corrupt. You know, after a while, when things are, when most people with common sense say that that's corrupt, that's when you'll see change coming. Yeah. I don't care if it's from a society standpoint or it's from a sports standpoint. PEDs, Major League Baseball, guy walking out there looking like a lumberjack. You know, looking like Paul Bunyan out there swinging a bat.
5'9", 5'10".
Somebody's head size growing a whole hat size over about a 5 or 6 year period because he's poking so many steroids into him. These things become an issue that you go, this is not normal. A normal human shouldn't look like that.
You just got to figure out when you want to stop it and when it's totally out of control. And you're like, look, man, this was good for a while. Now this has gotten ridiculous. So up against the top of the hour break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At US AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, US AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the US AmeriBank difference. US AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Centricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
A1 Four Seasons, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, is Central Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With the summer months approaching, the temperatures are rising, and so will your power bill if you don't have one of the latest 410A heat pumps. With R22 Freon prices on the rise, now is the time to make the switch to a new, more efficient unit that will save you hundreds of dollars on your yearly power bill. Call A1 Four Seasons at 256-234-4457. What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold, and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. Brett Pritchard and El Toro Freeman now jumping in for Randy as he gets ready for his daughter's birthday party today. So he's got to get out of here. We would too. So,
ain't no question.
But El Toro, good to see you, buddy. Always our Wednesday regular on Auburn Blitz. And El Toro, we were just talking about, you came in on the tail end of it, so I want to get your thoughts on it. And we were just talking about recruiting. And look, it's naive to think that college football is not going to be implicated at some point in time down the line in some degree. I don't know how serious. I think we all got to sit back and watch how this works out for college basketball. But it's not common sense to not think that it's not going to leak into college football, point a finger, college basketball saying, look, man, if you think we're bad, look over there. You know, it's just human nature to do that. But you were talking about recruits and different things. When you sit down at a poker table and you got a hand that you feel like is the winning hand, what do? You play it.
You play it, ain't no question.
You throw the cards down because you said, look, this is the best hand I got. It's the best I've had. So I got to try to get those chips in the middle of the table, and I feel like my hand's better than everybody else's at the table. So I'm gonna play this hand of cards. You got to put yourself in the shoes of some of these 5-star athletes out there in basketball and football, and it's what we've created. It's the culture that the sports have created. You know, if nobody was paying money then they'd have no leverage. You know what I mean? They'd have no. But when people are bidding against each other out there, and let's just open it up and be honest about it on the show today. When you got these 5-star athletes out there that are up for grabs, it's really asinine to think that, oh well, you know, they chose us because of our long history, and you know that yes, maybe one out of 50, one out of every 50 said, look, I've been wanting to go play there. I don't care. Nobody can come at me with any kind of money or anything, incentives. I'm going to play for that school, and that's fine, well and good. For the other 49, they're going, okay, you know, I've worked hard. God's given me this talent. Y'all all want me. Who's going to give me the best deal?
Right, because at the end of the day, you got to think about it, Brett. No matter where they go, they're going to get a good education.
That's right.
There's no school in the SEC that don't offer.
There's no trash degree out there.
You know, and they're going to play.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, they weigh that option of the bid. You know, when you come at them at that angle, and a school give them a bid or whatever.
Now, let me just go and preface, it ain't for every player. Every player don't get these deals.
Oh, no.
But it's certain guys that everybody wants.
Oh, yeah.
That you know that if I come to the table with nothing, then I have no chance.
Right.
They have no shot. I'm not in the game. I'm not playing the game. I mean, you sit down at a poker table and everybody else has cards and you don't. You ain't in the game. You ain't playing the game, man. I mean, so, look, I hate to use the poker analogy, but that's just about as simple as I can think of to explain to people that all of us fans get out there and go, when we sign a Byron Cowher, oh, we beat Florida and Georgia and Florida State and all that, and we won out and all this kind of stuff, then the guy don't even pan out. You know, we get caught up in doing that, and it's from a fan's perspective, and we like to think somewhere in the back of our mind that, oh, man, they like us better than that other school. You know, let's just be honest about it. And we don't know the ins and outs of Justin Ross, but I think that we all know enough that Auburn felt good about getting Justin Ross, and Alabama felt really good about getting Justin Ross, and he ended up going to Clemson. And, you know, Clemson was his top school of choice from about a year and a half ago. If you heard people talk about it and hear what he said, that's where he kind of really wanted to go. And then it kind of tailed off, and then there was talk of he didn't really have a favorite anymore, and then all of a sudden it looked like he was leaning toward Alabama, and then late it looked like Auburn had jumped back to the top, and then, you know, going to signing day, nobody really knew anything. Right. And then he pulls out the Clemson hat, and that's where he's going to go. You know, recruiting, there is no set standards. There are no certain set of rules that people follow, especially in the underbelly of all that. And we keep using that term because that's where the real deals are made. The surface and the top and all is perception. The reality is underneath. You got to dig. You have to get your shovel out. You have to dig a couple of feet down in the dirt to figure out where all the real stuff is lying.
No question.
So, you know, trees don't grow on top of the ground. They grow in the ground where the nutrients are.
Right.
So, I mean, that's where these recruits and these programs battle for these kids. And yes, when does it get to a point where it's too extreme, that it's gotten out of hand? You know, baseball, Major League Baseball had to make a choice, El Toro, several years ago. Are we going to continue to allow this to persist on the path that it's on and pretty much wipe out 200 years worth of integrity of this sport? Or are we going to say enough's enough and we got to gain some respect back? Now, we may lose temporarily in the short term from a popularity standpoint, and we may take our hits on doing things the right way right now, but in the end it will be better for it. I think baseball made the right decision at the right time, because if you watch the last two World Series, that's about as pure baseball as you can have. Cubs in it, the Astros this past year, the young guys. I mean, that's what you sell yourself out in the short term sometimes, because you cut corners to gain popularity, and then in the end it ends up burning you up. If you do it the right way, sometimes you feel like you're not getting anywhere, but in the end it all pays dividends.
That's just in life as well, right? You know, it's like with life itself.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Do things the right way. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the good, lasting results.
That's right.
You know what
I mean, it's not that shot in the arm. That's that temporary.
Right.
It's that temporary fix, and we all know. You know,
When you cut corners, it's like you're running on a treadmill. You ain't going nowhere.
That's,
you know what I mean?
that's right.
You know, that's the best analogy. Yeah, you know, so.
You're just sitting there spinning your wheels.
Right.
And you know, that's like somebody cheating on a test in a class.
Right.
You may make 100 on that test, but you haven't learned what you needed to learn for the next test.
Exactly.
So what do you got to do the next time? You got to cheat again because you don't know the foundation of how you got to that point. And eventually you're gonna run out. It's gonna run out on you. So I mean, we hate to use all these analogies, but to me it makes the best sense of how recruiting goes on compared to some common life examples that are going on out there. So if anybody's got a comment, a question, we got some comments coming in on Facebook about all this stuff. I think it needs to be corrected. I love Auburn basketball right now. Who wouldn't if you're not an Auburn fan? I mean, if you're an Auburn fan. But, you know, if Auburn has to go down with the rest of them, so be it. You know, to get this thing leveled out and levelized, it needs to happen because it's gotten out of control. But don't just take the Auburns and Alabama basketball programs of the world out. Take the ones at the top out as well because you know that's where it all started from. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown coming your way right after this.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
New year, new you. It's the Start Something New sales event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
It's cold outside, but the deals are hot inside.
Save up to $13,000 on remaining 2017 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Laramie 4x4.
If you ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
2018 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Package, only $19,700.
On the web at BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by Sunshine Heating and Air and JR Sports Bar and Grill. If you're looking for a heat pump, you need somebody to work on your heat pump, you need to call Kevin Kill at Sunshine Heating and Air. And if you're looking for some of the best food around, go no further than JR Sports Bar and Grill. Would you have done the dancing back in the day?
I would have done the dancing, Brett.
For the basketball halftime?
I'm joking, Brett.
You wouldn't have done that?
I wouldn't have done
You don't think you'd have gotten out there?
No, I don't have no rhythm, Brett.
Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Come on. To me, I think you'd have been the guy out in the middle.
The first one.
They'd have taken you and thrown you up in the air like they did whoever that was. I was on the back side of it. I didn't get a chance to see who it was. But me and Braden were like, Braden's like, my goodness. He said, man, I think he about rolled his ankle when he landed. And I was like, man, that'd been something.
It had to be receiver or DB, huh?
Somebody, it was a smaller guy.
Yeah.
He got slung. I'm talking about when they slung him up in the air, he was way up there. So, anyway, it was a lot of fun in the arena Wednesday night as Auburn took on Kentucky. Got their, I don't know if it's their third or I think it was their fourth win since 1990. I think they had 3 wins against Kentucky since 1990 outside of Wednesday night. So, now with 4. We're moving right on up the list.
Oh, yeah.
So, but this team got down with about 9 minutes to go. Kentucky had stretched the lead out to about 7. Looked like they were about to take control of the game, and usually that's when Auburn basketball would fold the tent in the past. You know, we fought hard to this point. We're out of gas. And, you know, the better team would end up taking control. But this Auburn team says, no. We can get down 7.
They have an edge to them, man.
Get down 14, and we're going to find a way to come back. They were down 17 in the second half. Texas A&M came back, took the lead. Ended up running out of gas at the end, lost by 1 point. But, I mean, you look at that from a perspective of this team ain't ever out of it. And this team's going to play to the final horn.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what makes a good tournament team.
And if the team they playing is not up for that, then it's over with.
And, you know, endurance, from an endurance standpoint, tournament basketball, the teams that are in the best shape, the teams that can maintain that rigorous schedule of a tournament, those are the teams that usually end up making it to the end. Auburn sets up perfect like that.
Oh, ain't no question.
We talking about height and we talking about all this stuff, but Auburn really looks like a tournament-built team, a team that likes to run, a team that doesn't get tired, and a team that loves to play defense and just wear you down.
Me and Coach Williams was watching them, you know, from the stands, man. They look like football players out there, man. Like, we was pointing them out. Like, this guy, he can play a jack. This guy here can be a receiver. I mean, it was just, these guys are built.
They are.
Like, you know.
They are.
So,
I mean, and to see Jared Harper, as small as he is out there running the point guard, and as fast as he is,
he's
man,
fast.
to take you off the dribble, man.
Yeah.
I'd hate to guard him.
Oh, no question.
I wouldn't have any ankles. I mean, but he does that.
He does a great job, yeah.
He takes everybody.
He's lightning, man.
He is lightning.
Yeah.
He's just a phenomenal athlete. And you got, you know,
Bryce Brown, man.
Oh, man.
Brett.
I don't think anybody seen or saw that coming.
This dude here is amazing, man.
He really is. He had 18 points at 75%, what Bruce Pearl said this past week. Said he's nowhere, and you could watch him in warm-ups. He's got a big brace on his arm.
He can take a game over, Brett.
He did. He took the Kentucky game over. And I'll give Anthony McLemore a lot of credit, too. You know, a guy that's 6'7", that plays against a guy every night, he knows he's going to go out there, it's going to be bigger than him at his position.
That's true.
That ends up out-rebounding and out-blocking the guy he plays. Ends up scoring 10, 12, 13 points a game. And is a guy that can step out from behind the arc and hit a three. You know, he's got range. You know, I talked about Chris Porter. I know you were young back in 98, 99. You was a baby. Okay. But I was in college, okay? So, I got to see Chris Porter up close and personal. I don't know how much tape you've ever watched on Chris Porter. Chris Porter may have been the best basketball player that's ever come through Auburn, one of the best. That's including Charles Barkley, Chuck Person.
Wow.
I mean, that's just kind of – he was player of the year. And I've never seen a guy, and he was 6'7", that could jump like Chris Porter. And Chris Porter was that electrifying guy you paid admission to go see. You know, you loved the team, but you came to watch Chris Porter every night. And Chris Porter, you know, scored 20-something points, and he'd have 2 or 3 thunder dunks in a game, and he'd do things that kind of were inhuman. You know, that's kind of what drew you to him. And you look at Anthony McLemore at the same size, 6'7". No, he's not as flashy as Chris Porter. Does he do some things a little better than Chris Porter did? Yeah, he's probably a lot more controlled. Okay, he gets more block shots, and he can shoot threes. Chris Porter couldn't shoot threes. He couldn't drop out behind. He'd shoot one every now and then, but I mean, it wasn't. He didn't have a pure jump shot like an Anthony McLemore did. So yes, from an electrifying standpoint, in the 98-99 team, Chris Porter, I mean, hands down, maybe one of the best that's ever played at Auburn. But Anthony McLemore, from a grinded out, get you solid performance every night and probably exceed expectations, that's that guy. Because he leads the conference in block shots at 6'7". On a team that's 305th in the country in size. We're 305th in size. Kentucky was the 5th.
That just want to there, man.
That is.
That just flat out want to.
Kentucky was the 5th largest team in the country when we played Wednesday night. So when you know in from a coach's standpoint on paper and you look at the comparison and you say, look, we're not supposed to be able to beat this team. They got 5 McDonald All-Americans. They're 3-4 inches taller than us at every position. How can we come up with a formula to beat this team? Because on paper, we're not supposed to win at all. And just like you said, it's the effort and the want to and the out hustle and all the stuff that goes into it that you can't measure.
And a testament to Bruce Pearl coaching. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's right.
Travis Williams, he always told me, he said, Toro, our linebacker core, who was the smallest linebacker core in the country.
But in 2004.
In 2004.
That's right.
In 2004. But he said Coach
Witt.
Coach Witt had them feeling like they was 6'5", you know what I mean?
And that nobody could block.
And nobody could block them. And, you know what I mean?
And they played that way.
And we had a discussion about it, like, you know, he feel that's the same thing Bruce Pearl has upon his team.
And it's a great analogy. He had Antarius Williams with him, Travis, and
Karibi Dede.
I mean, Karibi Dede, nobody had any expectations for him, none. But that group, I mean, you wouldn't trade them for anybody.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you just wouldn't. And that
but they
team,
played hard. They was physical. It's the same way as Auburn basketball, you know.
That team went on to went undefeated and won an SEC championship. Probably should have had a shot to play for the national championship instead of Oklahoma. But that's neither here nor there. But that's the comparison I think that's best is that you got a group of guys. Now they're talented now. I mean, we're not saying that Bruce Pearl's taking a bunch of scrubs out there and overachieving. I mean, he's got four-star talent all over that floor. I mean, Harper, Herron, you know, if Wiley were playing Purefoy, I mean, 4 or 5-star, depending on which, you know, service, but they're not even playing. So the rest of the guys that are out there on the floor, you know, the Murrays of the world and the Dunbars of the world and the Anthony McLemores of the world that have risen to the challenge and said, look, hey, man, we can be some of the best in the country. And they are. I mean, it's crazy to see. It's amazing. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we will talk about Auburn and Alabama's matchup today. Alabama on the road at Rupp Arena. Kentucky has lost 4 games in a row. So is Alabama going into a hornet's nest like Luke said, or has this team mailed it in? We'll find out today. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
The door's open, the beer's cold, and the biscuits are hot at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. Fishing season is in year-round and live bait is available. Non-ethanol gas is available along with propane and pellet ice. So come on by and see what we're all about, where the kitchen is open Monday through Friday early at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. And tell them old Katie sent you right here from the front porch, WAXC TV.
Hi. We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee?
Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cash aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
LMG Advertising Agency offers a comprehensive marketing solution tailored to each of our clients' needs. We are a full-service marketing firm offering website design and development, video production, social media marketing, search engine optimization, and overall branding that includes logo design, brochures, mailouts, and more. Our experienced team of marketing professionals would love to come up with a marketing strategy that will deliver results for you and your business. Learn more at lmgadagency.com or call today to start at 256-825-0197.
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Sentricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Sentricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Peaches and Clean, caring for your floors and a whole lot more in East Central Alabama.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett Pritchard, El Toro Freeman here for about 30 more minutes here on this Saturday morning. Auburn at South Carolina today at 2:30. El Toro, you look at it from a perspective of going on the road in this conference is tough. You look at South Carolina's record; they're 13-13, and they've lost 6 in a row. I don't know if that scares me or not. I don't know if that's like, man, that's the team we want to be playing right now, or, man, they've lost 6 in a row. Their luck's got to change at some point in time. They got it at home. Auburn 23-3, up 2 games in the conference. Tennessee in second place by themselves right now. But if you look at it, Auburn is a 77% favorite in the power index to win the game. Auburn's won 2 in a row. South Carolina's lost 6 in a row. But it's like you were just talking about, Frank Booker, Silva. They got some good players.
Oh, yeah.
This team does not have the 2 or 3 guys that really helped them get to the Final Four last year, but they're still coached by Frank Martin, and there's still some carryover from this team. So you can't sleep on this team.
You can't. And I don't think the Auburn basketball team will. I think the loss against Texas A&M refueled their engine. And I think, man, they're going to go to South Carolina and get the W. I know, because this team right here doesn't seem to be a team that, they allow success, to hinder them from continuing.
Yeah, it just keeps them. They stay on task.
They stay on, yeah.
Yeah, whether they win or lose, I mean, they move on. I want to flip over and talk about Alabama, Kentucky. Kentucky and Alabama both 17-9 on the season. Kentucky a 68% chance of winning in the power index. I don't know about that. Four losses in a row for Kentucky. They are playing in Rupp Arena. Alabama, if you look at it from a standpoint of going on the road, obviously it's very tough to go into Rupp Arena. It doesn't matter what kind of team Kentucky has, but Alabama really has been playing well. The last couple of games, a huge blowout win. They won by 28 over Tennessee. Who saw that coming? I mean, I could see them beating Tennessee, but Tennessee had won 6 in a row going into that game and was probably maybe I was giving them an edge of playing the best basketball in the conference, even more than Auburn at that time. Well, not after a 30-point loss. Auburn, I don't see Auburn getting beat by, if Auburn gets beat, you see the type times they get beat. They get beat by 1 point, they get beat by 5 points, it's close at the end of the game. They took care of business against LSU, obviously. But you look at Kentucky last 5 games, they somehow snuck out a win against Vanderbilt by the grace of God in overtime, 83-81. Vanderbilt gave the game away, fouled a guy with 3 seconds to go, put him at the line, sent it to overtime. They win that game in overtime, and then they lose to Missouri, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and now Auburn. So they could have already lost 5 in a row. I mean, this is like uncharted territory for Kentucky. Their fans are irate. They don't know what's going on. They're as rabid as all of us are in football. This is Kentucky basketball. This is what they look forward to, and their team is not really competitive right now with all the talent they've got. So John Calipari's kind of resolved himself to look, in my opinion, that this year's over. I mean, his body language, the way he kind of acts toward the guys. I mean, he coached hard Wednesday night, but, you know, some wins been taken out of their sails at 17-9. I mean, Kentucky it's very rare territory that they're in a situation they're in right now.
Well, if he projected that in, then the season is over because he's the head. And then he got some young guys. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, he does. I mean, to me, you look at the body language in the press conference and, you know, it's just like he feels like, in not what he said, but how he acts, and that I've tried everything to get this team to jail, and I can't get them to do it. So
that's not good.
No, it's not. If Alabama, so again.
But is Alabama going to be the Alabama?
Well,
that they can beat.
Well, who knows? I mean, the last 2 games they have been. If they go up there and play Kentucky that way, they'll beat Kentucky. And I told you off air that I think they could beat them handily. You know, I just feel that way because I think Alabama's playing as good a basketball as anybody in the conference right now. But the last time I thought that about a team was Tennessee, and they got beat by 28 points. All right, Auburn 23-3, 11-2 in the conference. Got a 2-game lead over Tennessee at 9-4. Missouri 8-5, Florida 8-5, and Alabama 8-5. Then you have Arkansas at 7-6, and you got 3 teams at 6-7: Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Texas A&M, and that is 3 really good 6-7 teams. Let me just tell you, Mississippi State, Kentucky, A&M. If we were to play any of those 3 today, I'd be just as worried as I would 2 weeks ago. Georgia and LSU both 5-8, but Georgia with some big wins. Georgia beat Alabama. Georgia beat Texas A&M. Georgia beat Florida on the road. I mean,
you just never know, huh?
And Auburn plays them twice and blows them out twice. I mean, Georgia's got some good players. They're 14-11, but they got a 3-game. They're down 3 games in the conference. LSU the same way. Then you got South Carolina at 500 at 13-13, but 4-9 in the conference. Ole Miss 4-9 and Vanderbilt 4-9 in the conference. So, you know, 2 more games under the belt for Auburn. They get to 13 wins. I think it's over.
Yeah.
You know, 13-5 is the magic number. Obviously, we want to win out. We don't want to just settle for 2 wins in the next 5 games. But if they win 2 more games, it's going to be almost impossible for anybody to catch them because Tennessee would have to win out.
I like the sound of that.
Well, Tennessee would have to win out and then to tie us, and we have the tiebreaker over.
Yeah.
So we're
in good shape.
If you're Auburn, you got to – but look, you got South Carolina on the road and Alabama coming in Wednesday night. It's probably the biggest game of the year. So, I mean, you know Alabama's going to be hyped up, ready to go, but –
we will too.
You can't start 1 for 16 against Alabama like you did against Kentucky.
No.
I mean, our shooting out of the gate was horrendous. And, you know, I told Braden, I said, man, we're 1 for 16 shooting, but we're up 10-8. I mean, I'm like, how in the world? We were down 10-8. I'm like, this game they could be up 15 right now. But Kentucky wasn't shooting the ball very well either, and we were playing good defense. Even when we weren't playing good offense, we still kept the pressure on defensively, which helped us keep the game close when we weren't shooting the ball well. So with that being said, you can't afford, though, to get down to really, really top opponents and expect to always come back. It finally bit Auburn against Texas A&M.
That's how you come up short when you do that.
It is, and you go, well, we only lost by a point. Well, it was more than that. You lost the game in the first half. You lost the game early in the second half when you got down 17. And you had to use all your energy to come back and just tie the game up or take a 1-point lead. Up against the break, come back, a couple more segments on today's show. We'll go all over the place with some things going on in the country. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Our number one concern, advanced heat and air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Game day. Last season you were watching football at the mercy of that loathed cable company and your weird roommate with the ornery chinchilla. But today you're going to watch wherever the Wild you want. You go here, Wild Wind Cafe. They've got all the games on more screens than you can count. And cute roommates. This is just the Wild you need. So go wild, superfan. We can't help you choking QB, but we do have cold beer.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you, gotta get to Gills. Selection and price, gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
East Central Alabama asked for it, and Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoors has answered with the region's full-service Mahindra Tractor and UTV dealer on Highway 280 in Alex City next to Tallapoosa Ford. Full lines of Mahindra Tractor, E-Max, Max 1500 Series to 5500 Series. We have the world's #1 tractor line. Get the job done as well with full lines of the world's toughest UTVs and accessories. Visit the all-new Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor in Alex City. True grit never taps out with Mahindra Tractors, UTVs, and accessories.
What do you see when you think about your future?
Do you see determination that keeps you going, that helps you make a difference in your world?
Do you see challenges that make you stronger?
Southern Union State Community College realizes that your opportunities for greatness are unlimited. Your journey has just begun.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. A couple more segments here on Saturday's show. El Toro, we talked about it just a minute ago. You look at Tennessee's schedule. It's favorable, man, for them. They got Georgia today. I think they got Ole Miss. They got Georgia again. They play Florida, which I think probably the toughest game left for them, but they'll be favored because Florida's got to go to them. I mean, I'm willing to say Tennessee wins out.
They look like it on
So, I
paper,
mean, five more wins for them. They're going to be pushing Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn can't slip. They 2 games up, but they can't slip.
Right.
They've got to. You can't watch what's behind you. You got to look ahead.
Oh,
so
no question.
Auburn's just got to take care of business and
just keep winning.
So I don't.
Got to cure everything.
One of the things that you gotta look at is going on the road again in this conference is tough. And I'll go back to Alabama, Kentucky for a minute. Alabama. You go into that game. You're in Rupp Arena. It's Kentucky. You really have no expectations from a preseason standpoint when you look at that game. Now, obviously, Alabama to me is a better team than Kentucky right now. So, but I still think you go in there. You're still an underdog. You're still favored. Kentucky's still favored by 4.5 points. So you go in there and say, "Look, man, we got nothing to lose. Let's go in there and play loose." And also know in the back of your mind that this isn't the normal Kentucky that you would be going in there facing. It's a 23-2 team that's looking like they're going to be a number 1 seed in the tournament. They're vulnerable.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to go in there and get a win. And, I think Alabama's very capable, El Toro, of getting hot and going up there and winning by double digits.
Yeah, and I think they will be more than ready for the task at hand because it is Kentucky. The same way Kentucky may feel like when they come into an arena that they're supposed to win, well, their opposing opponent feel like they need to win.
That's exactly right.
So man, I was up in the stands just watching the game, man, and we was like, man, we beating Kentucky.
That's
you
it.
know what I mean?
That's right.
They even get the fans excited.
And here's the other good thing about it. So, normally that would be a storm the court situation. We had the ball up 10, running the clock out, and we went, all right, the horn went off, we flipped the ball, and people just went to the exit. I mean, it's like, well, okay, we just got another big win.
Yeah.
And so that's when you feel like you've arrived and your mentality's changed and all that. So, but you're right. You were sitting in the stands when you went down there by Laura Rutledge.
Oh. Drop dead.
If you were standing down, I don't know why you left. Why did you go in the stands? But yeah, I saw your picture with Laura Rutledge, which she's with the SEC Network. So she's moved up the ranks. And, I mean, she's done a phenomenal job.
Great person,
man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what everybody says.
Great person, awesome, man.
Just very personable, and she's on Feinbaum's show all the time and all that. So I saw your picture down there. I was like, okay. Yeah. I see what El Toro's doing down there. But anyway, the Auburn situation, Alabama situation. You just got to keep winning basketball games. I think more at stake right now is what Auburn's got to think about is that a lot of people have them projected as a number 2 seed right now, but if they win out, El Toro, and they go on into the tournament and maybe not win the SEC tournament, but get to the finals, and they lose to maybe an A&M or somebody like that in a close game, I think they got a chance to be a number 1 seed.
I agree.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I agree with that.
I mean, let's go through the seeds real quick and a projection this past week. You look at it from a South perspective. We'll go through each bracket, the top 4 teams in each bracket. Virginia 1, Cincinnati 2. Cincinnati just lost.
Yeah.
Michigan State 3 and Tennessee 4. Now, Tennessee, they'll probably take a little hit with that loss, but then they come back and win by 3. And then if they win out, I think they'll stay where they are, maybe move up. A strong 4. Maybe a 3 for them.
And a strong chance they will win out.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So their record's going to be phenomenal going into the tournament. In the West, you got Purdue, who lost. Kansas, who's lost. North Carolina, who's up and down. And Arizona at 4. Yeah. That's the West 4. I think that could change.
I'm not a big fan of Kansas. If the three's not dropping, man, they struggle.
They struggle bad.
Yeah.
You're right on that. And I've noticed that. I've watched several Kansas games this year, and, They've won a couple they shouldn't have probably. You got kind of fortunate at the end. Maybe some things went their way. In the East, Villanova, who lost this week.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they lost to Providence.
Oh, wow.
So Duke, who to me, when this came out with 5 losses and seeing how Duke's played this year, a 2 seed was very generous. They were getting a 2 seed off their name, in my opinion. Texas Tech's 3. And
hold on. How you feel about Texas Tech?
They're a dangerous team. They're a dangerous team. But we talked about that this week on the show. I think it was Tuesday night. Texas Tech's I mean, they're a team that, again, you get in the tournament, you don't want no part of.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it?
I like them. I really like them.
Well, I mean, because, look at what they've done this year. Look at their record. Ohio State at 4, so in the East. You make your way over to the Midwest, that's where they've got Auburn. They got Xavier number 1, Auburn 2, Clemson 3, and Oklahoma 4. I kind of like Oklahoma being in our bracket.
Oh, yeah. Love Oklahoma being in our bracket.
They got one guy. And when he's not, he'd score 40 points on you and still lose. And still lose because they got nothing to go with it. So
Bama gave it to him.
Well, Bama gave it to him. And, they shut him down the second half.
Yeah.
I think he went basically scoreless in the second half, which tells you about Alabama's defensive opportunity. He's a small guy, he's fast, but their length, man, doesn't allow for shots. It just does not. It's not conducive for getting good shots off. So Alabama, where will they fall in that mix? I mean, again, all that's going to change a lot, I think, between now and tournament selection Sunday. But you look at plenty of opportunities for all these teams to either go up a few notches or to fall out. And I'll say this before we close out this segment. We don't know how it's going to end, but Auburn's sitting there at 23-3 right now with 5 games left. Don't go in a tank now. Don't tank the season out. Don't limp into the SEC tournament and lose a 2 seed all the way down to an 11 seed or 12 seed. And I don't think they will.
I don't think that's in this team DNA.
But I think in Auburn fans' minds, you just sitting there always going, "Oh, please, you've made it this far. Don't take it out and everybody go, well, they had a pretty good year."
When you watch them, do you sense that?
I don't.
At all. Even in the losses.
No, even in the losses. But
you know what I mean? They competed the whole time.
There's something that scares me about Auburn that Kentucky wasn't able to take advantage of Wednesday night.
Size.
Not size. When we're cold, we're cold. When we're shooting the basket, and we have to have shots fall from outside.
Yes, that's true.
We shoot 33s a game, El Toro. We made 8 of them the other night. Yeah. That's not good enough against most teams.
Right.
And you get in the tournament.
But what about the defense, though?
Well, the defense makes up for it.
Right.
It keeps you and your free throw shooting. Now, look, I'm not taking away from the positives. There's a lot of positives here. I'm just telling you the thing that scares me is when we're not shooting the ball well from outside, we put ourselves in a huge disadvantage. We are reliant on threes falling. And when threes don't fall, it's kind of like what you were talking about with Kansas. I think we play better defense than Kansas. I think we give more effort than them. But you look at it from a standpoint of getting 3 shots. That's how we extend leads. We're able to shoot the ball from outside the arc so well that we're able to jump out on people, and then you look up and we're up 10. They may be shooting a higher percentage or have made as many shots, but they shoot 2s, we shoot 3s, and we're up 10.
Do you think that was the case against our loss against Alabama?
I do think it was. The length, it bothers me on the perimeter when you got tall guys out there guarding our guards. They can't get separation, can't get shots, because we're not a team that works in and gets, can get the ball in at a regular pace and get it up and score easy 2s. We've got to have 3s to fall. Stay tuned. Final segment of the show coming your way right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
Needing extra space at your house? Check out Easy Storage Units on Tallapoosa Street, 1 mile from downtown Alex City. With state-of-the-art 24-hour surveillance, you can rest easy knowing all of your possessions will be safe and secure. Easy Storage has any size unit you need, from 5x10s up to 10x20s. Call Easy Storage today at 256-794-8223 to rent your unit today. That's EZ Storage, 256-794-8223.
When you're born, you're really young. You're like 0 years old. My grandma tells me to quit growing up so fast. But what can I do about it? My mom keeps throwing me birthday parties.
Russell Medical, comprehensive care in your corner of the world.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City. This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. Only 8 minutes left. Boy, this hour's gone by fast, hasn't it? Golly, man, 8 minutes left. Here this morning, we've got some great comments in, and to close out, the FBI investigations really kind of consumed the show today, and it consumed yesterday. And Pete Thamel and those guys come out, and I know Luke talked about it, and we've had some people talking about some things on here, but I've gotten some text messages from some people, and they're saying, look, let's not all get too worked up over Pete Thamel articles because he's been known to blow hot air. He's also been known to, just like a lot of guys that report now, El Toro, it's about, taking a little bit of chance and trying to jump out there and break a story and be able to come back and say you were the first one to the dance and you said it and all this kind of stuff. And investigative reporting is not what it used to be. There's not a lot of integrity left in it. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of, when you look at it, accountability. When somebody takes a story and throws something out there and it comes back not true, well, they don't ever come back and say, well, I'm sorry. There's no retraction. It's like, okay, well, I missed on that.
And it should be.
I mean, it should be. So let's see what Justin says. It's so weird to be invested in college basketball this time of year. I'm actually anticipating college game day today. I mean, it does. It changes the perspective on how you view things. When you got somebody in the hunt, now we know what Purdue feels like in football. College game day, everybody's rabid. They're like, well, heck, I guess we might go to the game today. Yeah. And I'm just saying, not that Purdue's a terrible program, but from a standpoint of year in and year out, they're usually average to below average in the Big Ten. I mean, they're not competing for a Big Ten championship and all that, but Auburn and Alabama fans, they go into every season expecting to be there at the very end.
No question.
And I mean, that's the expectation. And the USCs of the world and the Florida States of the world, and those are the kind of in basketball, not so much. And so, but now when you get a basketball team that's competitive, you jump in, you can be fun. And it's like Randy said earlier, it's not about whether we're a football school or whatever. Everybody supports winners.
No question.
Okay, everybody loves a winner. Now, I know we can sit up here and say, well, you're supposed to be there thick and thin and stuff. Well, from a football perspective, Auburn fans are. When we're 3-8, stands are still packed.
Yeah.
The fans still show up.
Yeah.
Okay, Alabama's the same way. When in the Mike Shula days when they had problems, they still showed up.
Mm-hmm.
But in basketball, when we haven't been good, I mean, it's hard to get up and go to those games. But when you're good, man, people come in. So it's been a lot of fun. We're up against the end of the show. El Toro, man, thanks for jumping in for Randy, and we'll see you next week. For El Toro Freeman, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you next Saturday.